Brett Yormark, Big 12 commissioner with us, 365 Sports. We were there the first year you introduced, and my God, how many things have changed since then.
A lot has changed. It's been a heck of a 3 years, though, and I appreciate all your support. Really, I do. But it's been great. You know, we were ambitious in that first press conference. I remember sitting down. I don't even sit anymore, as you know. I kind of walk the stage now. But we were ambitious. We had some goals. We wanted to be a national conference. We wanted to get on the consciousness of current future student athletes, connect to culture, create value for our member institutions, try to get a new TV deal quickly. All of that and more has happened. I mean, I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied. There's a lot more for us to do. And I kind of look at us as a bit of a mature startup. We're just getting started. But I like where we are right now. I love the trajectory of the conference, love the profile of the conference. I do think we've extended ourselves beyond just the sports pages. So it's all good, and I've got a great group of presidents and ADs that share the same vision. They want more. They're eager for more. They want to be great. That's why I'm here.
Brett, the 5+11 thing has been, the talking point of you guys in the ACC and the other conferences when it comes to the CFP. It was a calculated risk, right, to say, like, well, we could just take two and admit that would be almost publicly admitting before every season starts that, like, well, we know our place. And that doesn't seem like you to me.
No, it's not. My DNA is – so I bet on people. Mm-hmm. And I'm betting on our ADs. I'm betting on our coaches that we're going to continue to invest and we're going to continue to raise the bar when you think about our football product. Why would I ever cap our participation for the next 6 years? Why would I do that? No business person would do that. They want to put a cap on their progress. So my belief is, hey, might not be perfect for us today, but I play the long game. And I'm betting on our ADs, I'm betting on our coaches and our student athletes that we're going to evolve and that every year we'll get multiple bids. And that's the goal. And I'm not going to back down.
Was there much of a discussion, like a back and forth, or did you kind of from the beginning have pretty much everybody on board as far as the athletic directors, coaches, everybody you were talking to about this? Was it a back and forth, or was it just kind of like everybody's like, yeah, man, let's go out there and go this way?
Well, I think across the board, they wanted to earn it on the field. They wanted fairness, and they wanted what the fans want. That's this is what the fans want. Now, had they come back to us with an AQ model that was more reflective of who we are in the landscape of college football, I'm sure we would have had a conversation about that. But it's not 4-4-2-2. So that's where we are. And I'm all about fairness. I'm very transparent about it. And we'll see where we land. But the ADs and the coaches know I'm fighting for them. And that's what I'm doing.
Do you think that Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti care about the Big 12 and the ACC?
Listen, I think everyone cares about their conference.
Right.
And that's what we're paid to do. But I think as a part of that, you want to look a little broader and say, what's good for college football? And I think what's good for college football is a model that's fair, where you win it on the field and you're rewarded accordingly. And that's really how I think about it. And I do think down deep, Greg has been in this ecosystem a lot longer than I am, and he does what's right for college football. And I know Tony does too, but they also have to do what's best for their conference, and I can respect that. And by the way, we all have a great relationship, very collegial. We're working on a lot of things together. When you think about settlement and CFP and new governance. But I think there's moments in time where you can agree to disagree and still have, enormous respect for one another. And I'd say probably when it comes to this subject, that's the case.
I remember, like, when I read about the SEC coaches going like, well, why would we not want 5+11? Because you're telling me I could get 4, but heck, if we have that magical season, you could get 8. I mean, like, yeah, you could. And I think the thing that bothered me about 4-4-2-2 is sports are the most cyclical thing in the world. Like, they're the most unpredictable thing. You're trying to predict it before it's even happened. And that's not fair to everybody. Like, you might be even selling your own conference short at 4.
I agree. And that's, part of the rationale too. Mm-hmm. Again, every year is a different year. And if you think about settlement should create a level playing field, assuming everyone's living by the rules and we enforce those rules, which we will. So it does create a level playing field in a new age for collegiate athletics. It's going to change behavior. And again, I'm not going to cap, the performance of this conference.
So I remember when we first talked to you, I think we touched on the first time we talked right at the very beginning, back in 2022 when you were initially hired. You signed a contract extension through, 2030? Is that correct?
I did.
Did you ever imagine when you first dipped your toes into the waters here that it would last, up to possibly 8 years? And, who knows beyond that? But did you always think this was going to be kind of a long-term thing, or is it kind of evolved into that?
I wasn't sure. I was a bit of an outlier, a non-traditional hire at the time.
For sure.
And those before me that had come from similar programs didn't have a lot of success, candidly. But I've always been a risk taker in my career. I took a job at NASCAR, knew nothing about auto racing. I took the CEO position of the Nets with the vision of moving a team from Jersey to Brooklyn, and everyone said, you'll never move that team to Brooklyn. And then when I came here, people said, he doesn't know college sports. He's an outlier. He won't last too long. So I always challenge myself in those situations, and I'm just happy it worked out. It was the right situation for me. I love being the commissioner of the Big 12. I love, just the ecosystem, love living in Texas. So I'm happy it's worked out. And, I'm going to be here as long as they want me.
And I guess there was some foresight because of what college sports has turned into. It's actually probably gone more up your alley than anybody could have ever bargained for at the beginning of it.
Well, I will say when I took the job, I did think that college athletics was going to a place that I'm very familiar with and probably closer to where I came from than where it's been. So I did feel that I was the right fit, regardless of the naysayers. And so far, it's been pretty good.
I remember when we had you on, and we started near the end, started to talk about sales and all of that. And you got, like, I remember your eyes perked up a little bit. We talked about understanding how to get the money, find the money, not be afraid to ask for the money. I remember that then. I was like, okay, but now everything's about money. Everything's about finding the revenues, and you have scratched all over the place to find it. And at first, there's a couple of things. Well, that doesn't make sense. And the next thing you know, other conferences are looking at the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like to say that I'm a first mover. I'm a bit of a change agent. I brought some different ideas to the table. Not every idea is going to work.
Sure.
But, one of the first things I did is I brought our commercial business in-house. We had been outsourcing it for 27 years. And I just decided we need to control our own revenue at the conference. And you're seeing more and more people do that now. And that gave us the ability to do a deal like PayPal that we announced. Because had I not brought the commercial business in-house, that deal's not coming to the Big 12. So we've been setting ourselves up for this moment where we could monetize the full scale of being 16, control our own destiny when you think about the commercialization of collegiate athletics. So everything builds on the next thing. And I'm just happy some of the things that we did early on are now going to, provide us with the kind of growth that we need moving forward.
Is that something that Jerry Jones did when he bought the Cowboys? You have the NFL splits their revenue, but he then took the value of what was Texas Stadium and now AT&T Stadium and started to get his own individual, and nobody had ever, they were like, that can't be done. Pepsi, that's kind of what he did back, and everyone said that's not happening.
He's been a first mover on the commercial side. I mean, I have the utmost respect, and one of his top commercial guys is an old dear friend of mine, Chad Estes, and he's been responsible for us to be here today and some of the increased involvement with the Cowboys. But Jerry comes from that mindset. How do you leverage the IP that you're building and then ultimately drive revenue behind it? And I feel we're in a great place right now. It was the first time in the history of the conference where we went into the marketplace with 16 schools and the conference combined.
Right.
And went to a brand, a big brand, a global brand, and said, we have a business solution for you. That's pretty powerful. Because when you think about it, we're 16 strong. We're in 10 states, 4 time zones. We have 90 million people in our footprint. So the question has always been, and I posed this to our board, we got to leverage the scale of being 16. Or why did we expand? Now, long term, January of 30, we'll leverage the scale of 16 and how we've been able to build our brands in our new TV deal. Because I think we'll have a big moment. But the short game is, how do we leverage that scale right now? PayPal was a great first example, and there's more to come.
Last question.
Can I talk you out of NCAA tournament expansion? I love the 68. I love the 64. I know that it's moving towards 76 or something like that. But
it might move to 76.
76.
Obviously, I defer to Charlie Baker on those decisions. But the only thing I can say, and we did meet with our coaches when we were in their spring business meetings, is when you look at the data, when you increase to 76, it means more of the Power 4 schools are going to get in. And being the best basketball conference in America and having the depth that we do, that will be very beneficial for us. Okay? And that's how I look at it. And I know our coaches look at it from the same perspective. Now, the economics need to work. No one wants dilution. So Charlie's got to work with the media partners to make sure that he can grow the pie, in an effort to financially support expansion in all the right ways. So I leave that up to him. But listen, access is good right now. We're at 16 schools. We're the deepest conference in America when it comes to football. It's why I want to go to 16. We are obviously the best basketball conference in America over the last 10 years. I said that yesterday. So more access is good for us. But the economics matter when it comes to that access, and we'll see where we land.
Cody Campbell was walking around here earlier. I just wondered how much you've actually conversed with him. I know he's got his own vision of how things go, and just your thoughts on how much noise Texas Tech has made this offseason.
Cody Campbell is a good friend. He's on our alumni council, at the conference. I speak to Cody quite a bit. His heart's in the right place. He wants what's right for college athletics. He was a student athlete. Mm-hmm. He knows the value of being a student athlete, and he wants to preserve that opportunity for those that come next. So I'm a supporter of Cody's. Again, and by the way, what he's done at Texas Tech has been unbelievable.
They've had the Big 12 in the headlines a lot. Yeah.
No, they have, and they're investing in all the right areas right now. So I look forward to spending some time with them today.
Great to see you, man. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Keep it up.
Appreciate
Brett
it.
Yormark, Big 12 Commissioner. Thanks to Clark Williams. This is 365 Sports.